planning or have already booked a Disney Cruise Line Very Merrytime sailing, then this is the ultimate guide for you. We sailed on the first Very Merrytime cruise of the season on board Disney Fantasy, and I'm here to share with you all of the characters, the merch, the entertainment, and so much more. This was our 10th sailing with Disney Cruise Line, which takes us up to Platinum membership on our next sailing, but we have never done one of the Very Merrytime cruises before. Now, as an avid Christmas fan, I had very high hopes and expectations for this, so let me share with you whether it lived up to them or not. Our Very Merrytime cruise started a little bit differently because we were already sailing on the westbound transatlantic when it arrived into Florida for the first cruise of the season, and therefore we got to watch the transformation from regular Disney Fantasy ship into all the Very Merrytime festiveness. The crew members and the cast members worked so hard in turning this into an absolute festive winter wonderland. Our back-to-back process took a little bit longer due to issues with customs, so we were in there for about 2 to 3 hours watching this transformation take place, and it was really surprising how quickly they turned everything around. It's the kind of efficiency that you would want in your own home for someone to do all of this for you, because the speed in which everything took place was an absolute marvel. I particularly loved all of the details on the Christmas tree, which perfectly matched the carpet and the chandelier detail in the fantasy atrium. This was so special. I would have loved to have seen Mickey be the one though to place the star on top of the Christmas tree. It wasn't until later that we realized that we did get a sneak peek of the tree all lit up, because it wasn't until officially the tree lighting ceremony, which we will cover later, when all of the lights actually came on and stayed on for the whole duration of the cruise. So actually when we reboarded the Fantasy as part of our back-to-back process, the lights were off and we were waiting for that tree lighting ceremony later on. It was during our previous sailing on the westbound transatlantic that we actually saw the gingerbread house starting to be built and put together. And we didn't really know what was happening. We could see the partitions there. There were gaps in it so that we could actually see through at various points. But it was actually the smell that came later when we realized fully what was actually happening. But this process took about 5 days to complete, and it wasn't actually available until our second day at sea on the Very Merrytime sailing. So it did take a bit of time to all pull together. Perhaps they could have started that earlier, but seeing this once the barricade had been removed was just so impressive and was really a nice addition and feature to the atrium. We absolutely loved walking past this every single day. The festive decor wasn't just available on the ship, and we actually saw that the Christmas tree had already been put up in the Disney Cruise Line terminal. Now these trees are absolutely massive, and we loved seeing all the decoration like starting at the earliest stage just to get you really excited. On board the Disney Fantasy, we also found it wasn't just the atrium that was nicely decorated. Each bar, lounge, restaurant, the walkways, everything had a little touch of festive sparkle and magic, and it really made you feel immersed in the Christmas theme whilst sailing on the Very Merrytime. And it was really nice to see all of these details pop up in areas that had previously been, well, not bare, because obviously the decoration on the ship and the theming is incredible anyway, but all of the festive touches really made it feel like a Very Merrytime sailing. And it didn't end there. The islands were also decorated to tie in with that Very Merrytime theme. I had previously heard about the Castaway Key tree. However, I didn't actually expect it to be as big as it actually was. It was huge, and you could see it from the ship as we were pulling into Castaway. I loved the island-themed decorations on this tree with the starfish, the shells, the sea creatures, but particular shout out for the snowmen made out of sand. What a moment! This was such a great photo spot, and there were PhotoPass photographers stationed outside of the ship to capture those moments. The garlands and the wreaths continued, and they were dotted all over the island, looking very festive there in the sun. We found that Lookout Key wasn't as immersively themed as Castaway, so there were these wreaths at the entrance to Lookout. There was also a couple of Christmas trees at the entrance to also have your picture taken. There was a garland, and there was a PhotoPass photographer at this point as well. And then there was another little bundle of trees, but that was about it for Lookout. Now on to one of my favorite parts of a Disney cruise, and that is the characters. And I was so excited to see all the characters in their festive wear, and they did not disappoint. We did have the Fab 5 Plus for the characters on the sailing, and we had Mickey, we had Minnie, Donald, Daisy, Goofy, Pluto, and Chip and Dale, who were all so sparkly in their festive wear. What I would say about the meet and greets was that these queues got pretty long, and I think that is because they seem to only be meeting in their festive wear on the 2 sea days that we had, and there were only, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 opportunities throughout the day to meet with the characters. So the lines did get long, so plan accordingly. What we also found is that the character meet and greets kind of all seem to overlap with one another. So a lot of the time they seem to be meeting within 15 minutes of each other, which meant that some of the queues did get cut off before you could actually go back and meet some of the other characters. So what we had to do was think a little bit more strategically, and we planned our days accordingly. So on the first sea day at the earlier time, we met a couple of the characters. Then in the afternoon, we met a couple more that were out. And then it was only on the second day that we were able to rotate round the rest that we've missed. We did see a couple of princesses on the cruise, and whilst they weren't in a strictly outfit change, they did have some flourishes that made it wintry themed. So for example, Tiana had her crown embellishment. We met Snow White, and she also had her bow that was embellished with festiveness. But the star of the show was Belle, who was decked out in her Winter Wonderland outfit, and I thought she looked absolutely perfect. An additional character, if you want to call him that, was Father Christmas himself, and he came out, I think, twice across the sailing, but again at various different times. We got to tell Santa what we wanted for Christmas and to tell him whether we'd been good or bad. No prizes for guessing that more Disney cruises is definitely on my wish list this year. The entertainment started off strong with the tree lighting ceremony, which happened on our embarkation day. Now, I loved this, but my only criticism of it was that it only happened once. So normally with the shows, they do rotate those to align with the dining rotation. So there's usually an early show and a late show, which means that everybody just swaps over to correlate with their dining. However, this only happened once. Now the time was 7:30, so it was a really good time. It was right smack bang in the middle, so everybody had the opportunity to watch it. There wasn't a danger that you were going to miss out at all. But the problem for me was that you're trying to fit a whole cruise ship into the atrium, and with there being so much going on, with the characters, with the music, with the songs, of course, everybody wants the best view. And because it was the first activity that was, really seasonal that was happening on embarkation day, it drew in a huge crowd. So it just meant that it was a little bit congested. I think, and I would definitely recommend, at least turning up to this, say 15-20 minutes in advance to try and get, a particular spot. We watched it on deck 4. We had a pretty decent view of the stage and what was happening. This was a whole lot of fun, and Pluto and the glitter was absolutely hilarious. For those people that were sat in the front, I'm sure they did not see that coming. And then Mickey and the gang switched on the lights, and look at that. It's just festive in abundance. The whole atrium was lit up. It stayed this way for the rest of the cruise. It was so beautiful. I absolutely love a sparkly Christmas tree, and this one did not disappoint. As mentioned, Father Christmas did also do select meet and greets. These are all available in the Navigator app. He was positioned in front of the Christmas tree in the atrium, so you had an absolutely perfect picture moment. There were always PhotoPass photographers set up to capture that, so kids, young and old, can come and meet and greet with Father Christmas, tell him what's on your Christmas list for this year, and enjoy that very Merrytime moment. Mrs. Claus also had a special event, so I think twice it was on the ship. Mrs. Claus came down to read stories out to the children. She had a big book and there was a bit of audience interaction, so this was a really cute moment on the ship too. But one of my favourite entertainment moments was with the carolers. And what we noticed was these cast members were also the stars of the Walt Disney Theatre productions, and they were incredibly talented. Now, I am a sucker for a Christmas carol. I love it. I think it's just so beautiful. I love the songs. I love the feeling that you get from it. and these guys were just amazing. I could have sat and listened to them all day. It was definitely giving me like Voices of Liberty vibes, but on a Disney cruise ship. I have to just pause so you can hear it for yourself. They were wonderful.
The happiest season of all. There'll be parties for hosting, marshmallows for toasting, and caroling out in the snow. Scary tales of Christmases long, long ago, a long time ago. It's the most wonderful time of the year.
My next favourite though was Mickey and Minnie's holiday party, which is a deck party. And something that we noticed for this one, which I don't know if this is new for Disney Cruise Line or if this is just specific to the Disney Fantasy, but anyone that was watching from deck 12 were all asked to remain seated, and that has never been our experience before. But I love this. I think that's a great rule, because when you have got adults and children, everybody is obviously entitled to watch the shows and everybody can enjoy the shows, but this way it just means that everybody gets to see. So like I say, we haven't seen that before, but I really love that, and I would love that if they implemented that rule across all the cruise ships and all the parks, because I just think it makes for a better experience for everyone. This show had a very specific storyline, which I won't spoil, but it's very cute and you need to make time to watch this on your Very Merrytime sailing. However, what I am going to leave you with is the earworm, which was the soundtrack for the holiday party, and it has been living rent-free in my head since we've got back from this cruise.
Let's have a holiday, 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 holiday party. We'll have a holiday, 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 holiday party. We're gonna decorate the tree with our friends and family, and have a holiday, 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 holiday party.
In addition to the more formalized entertainment, there were also really cute backdrops with PhotoPass photographers available. There was also an Anyone Can Cook session where they did a festive Yuletide log. So I didn't actually attend this one because it clashed with something else, but this would have been a really fun one, and you do get a recipe card to take away with you. There were PhotoPass sessions with the gingerbread house. Now what we spotted is that I think we saw this once appear on the Navigator app, but the photographers were available more times, so that might just be something you just need to look out for, but of course you can always take your own pictures. And next to the gingerbread house, they also did a chocolate station. They did warm hot chocolate, and also cookies. And when I tell you, this hot chocolate was absolutely divine. Probably one of the best hot chocolates I have ever had in my life. I've never seen that anywhere else on the ship. It wasn't from a machine. I don't know what they did with it, but it was incredible. Definitely not one to be missed. They had this available a couple of times on our cruise, and trust me when I say we took advantage of that. There were also formal pictures taken in front of the tree, so if you and your family are looking to create a Christmas card this year, that would be the perfect opportunity to do so. Now on to the merchandise. One of my speciality subjects, if I was ever going to win Mastermind, it would be with Disney merch. There was a huge range available, from plushies to pins to candies to shirts to spirit jerseys to lug bags to tree decorations to blankets. There was a huge range available, and it was very well stocked. The stock was replenished every single day. We didn't spot that anything sold out. There wasn't a huge scrum or a rush for the shop. It was all quite orderly, and I think because they had replenished it so frequently, there wasn't that mad dash to kind of like grab everything. Now what we also noticed, because when we got off the ship we headed into Disney Springs, some of this range is available in the parks, but it is just Disney Cruise Line branded on board. And yeah, there was something for everyone. I definitely stocked up on quite a few of these bits because I'm a Christmas girly and I also love anything Disney Cruise Line merch. I am an absolute sucker. The festive merch was a little bit more limited on the islands. I spotted this Holiday Fun in the Sun t-shirt, and of course you had your usual Castaway Key and Lookout Key tree decorations, but it was pretty limited to that. And as well as the merchandise, there were also some optional extras that you could pick up. So we purchased this stateroom holiday decor package in advance of our cruise for $115. And we were really shocked actually by how much you actually received in the package for the price that you paid. We received this fleece blanket which was decorated with the holiday pals, and this was really comfy and cozy. We've got a few Disney Cruise Line versions of this in the house and they are so nice. Then there is this very jazzy stocking which features Goofy, again really good quality. There was a Pluto shoulder pal, and interestingly this is the gift that they were also giving out if you attended one of the DVC presentations. Next up is the Celebrate the Season. This is quite a giant pillow, which when we flipped it over we realised was also a bit of a snow globe effect going on. The pillow actually opens, so we actually wondered if that could double as like a PJ holder as well, so making it functional as well as cute. You also received the Happy Holidays bunting and these two fabric wreaths of Captain Mickey and Captain Minnie. And like I say, we were actually really pleased with the price that we paid for this. We thought it was all really good quality and really added to our stateroom. Over to Sweet on You, where they had the best themed festive treats and snacks available. We didn't see anything else like this across the ship, and these are available at an additional cost. So we did actually buy some to sample them because they were just too cute to leave behind. They had a wide range of things like cupcakes, cake pops, cookies, the Rice Krispie treat, ice cream. There was a lot on offer here, so we did try a couple of things just so that we could actually sample them for the purposes of the research of the vlog, you see. We paid $16 for the Rice Krispie treat, the single scoop of ice cream, and the reindeer cake pop. And I have to say, the reindeer cake pop was the absolute star of the show. It was chocolate brownie inside and the glaze on the outside was raspberry. So when you bit into it, all you could get was chocolate and raspberry, which is an incredible combo. It is one of the best things I actually ate on this trip. Hands down, it was wonderful. I cannot say the same though about the Rice Krispie treat. This was definitely like style over substance because it was dried out, it was a bit tasteless, it felt stale. There was really thick fondant on there which wasn't really adding to it. It definitely looked better than it tasted. So, having experienced our first very Merrytime sailing, would we recommend it? And I think the answer for me would definitely have to be yes. So we love Disney Cruise Line, but I also love Christmas, and getting to experience Disney Cruise Line with a festive theme absolutely made my year. It was a real highlight. There were, however, things that could have been improved. So for example, we love Disney Cruise Line trivia. You will always spot us at their trivia. We find it so much fun. They could have really upped this theming by having some Christmas themed trivia, maybe with #1 Christmas songs or Christmas movie quotes or something around that. That would definitely have been a better experience. I also think with the funnel vision, they could have switched out the regular Disney movies that they play to have Christmas themed movies. So they did have the Jonas Brothers holiday special playing in the Walt Disney Theatre, but it was only on a couple of times, and on the funnel vision it was just your regular offering. And certainly in the main dining restaurants, I would have loved to have seen a festive themed menu. Maybe not every night, because I know that's not to everyone's taste, but certainly one of the rotations could have been festive food, because aside from the additional upcharge snacks and treats, there wasn't really anything else in the way of food, and I think that really would have made a big difference. We have vlogged this trip day by day on our 5-night Bahamas Very Merrytime cruise. So if you want to follow along with everything that we got up to each day, then make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. Give this video a big thumbs up, hype us using that new feature, and leave your comments down below because we love hearing from you. I'm also a brand rep with 1901 Main Street Travel, and they're running a special offer until the end of 2025. So if this vlog has encouraged you to book your own Disney cruise, then get in touch with them. I'll leave their link in the description box, and if you mention Anni Stores at the time of booking, then you will receive a special offer of onboard credit. We really hope you've enjoyed this vlog, and if you are sailing anytime soon, then have a fab and magical trip and happy holidays.